Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another indie movie review. Today we're going to be talking about The Similars. Really quick though, before we get into that, I want to say thank you to my creepy patron peeps for your support of my channel, so thank you so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link in the description. Alright, so a quick summary of The Similars reads: on the rainy night of October 2nd, 1968, 8 characters waiting on a remote bus station for a bus heading to Mexico City start experiencing a strange phenomenon. Alright, so a few fun facts about this movie. The director, Isaac Esban, I hope I said his last name right, was inspired not only by B-horror movies, but The Twilight Zone also, and I feel like that's that's the most accurate description of this movie. It feels like an episode of The Twilight Zone. The movie also references okay, I wrote it down and I'm going to completely butcher this, the Tlatelolco massacre. Yeah, so that happened on the same day that this movie takes place, October 2nd, 1968. And it was an event in the area of Mexico City where Mexican students and civilians were murdered by military and police personnel. And I was reading a little bit on it, and it seems like some of the accounts on what actually happened are still a little bit shady, like why the military and police started firing on civilians and how many actually died. Yeah, which I thought was interesting. And it's something definitely to keep in mind when you watch this movie, because I feel like the movie kind of, like if you're thinking about it in that context, kind of offers a explanation as to what actually happened, which is super interesting. But anyways, let's get into what I liked about The Similars. I freaking love the style of the movie. Like, super stylized set, costumes, the look of it. Instead of being filmed in black and white, it was actually the colors, they were just desaturated, like extremely desaturated, which I thought was I don't know, it was really cool. It looked really cool, and I loved the camera movements as well. So for the most part, like, there are other areas of this bus station, you know, where the movie takes place, like the ticket man's office and the bathroom, but most of the action takes place in the main area of the bus station, like the waiting room where everyone's waiting for the bus to arrive. And I feel like the camera is very much following the 180 rule, where it's like if you just imagine there's this, you know, this line that the camera does not cross. And that's not like it doesn't actually like stay in the same area the whole movie, but it kind of feels like it does. So it kind of gives you this impression when you're watching the movie that you're watching like a live play or something like that, if that makes any sense. The camera, there are just certain parts of this like bus station you can tell like the camera is never shooting from the point of view of like certain corners of the bus station, because you're always looking at those corners. I don't know if that makes any sense. I feel like it made it seem like I was watching a play instead of a movie, which was awesome. Also kind of the movements as well. There's a few times instead of cutting, the camera kind of just like backs out and then like dollies over to wherever the character's walking instead of cutting or anything like that. So again, makes you feel like you're watching something live instead of a movie, because a lot of things are happening in real time. There's also a huge nod to The Thing in this movie. So without giving too much away, basically what's happening, this is slightly an older movie, but maybe not one everyone has seen, which is why I don't want to spoil everything, but it is related to The Thing in such a way that there was something kind of like invading the bodies of the humans of the earth, and it makes people see us, like it makes it seem like people are turning into a certain image, if that makes sense. I'm trying to say it vaguely without giving anything away. It had a really comedic tone to it. Okay, whatever, I'm gonna give part of it away because I'm not gonna be able to explain it without, or I'm not gonna be able to explain what I'm talking about without explaining it. So basically what's happening is the people are being invaded by like an alien life form, and that alien life form makes it seem like they're turning into one of the characters in the bus station. The character's name is Ulysses, and he's kind of like this like Jesus looking motherfucker, you know, like he's got like longer hair and a beard and everything like that. And when somebody's like infected, they turn into him, basically. Like they're still wearing their clothes and everything, but they have his face and his features. So even the women, it's super hilarious. You even see it in the posters and pictures on the wall. So like the ticket taker guy has like a back room where he has like all of these posters, like the Beatles, James Bond, Marilyn Monroe, and he's looking at all these like Playboy magazines and whatever. And at one point they're like flipping through like the nudie magazines, and they all have the head of this guy. It's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. But the body of, there's still their same body, if that makes any sense. Like The Thing in that sense, but with kind of like more of a comedic twist, because it's like crazy, like batshit crazy what's going on, but it's also hilarious because they all look so funny. You know what I mean? I also like how this movie progresses. So it starts off as like you're okay, like you're following along with the movie. And it just like little by little just starts spiraling more and more out of control, and just, you know, going deeper and deeper into just like fucking batshit crazy country. Do you know what I mean? But you're kind of okay with it. Like it's very much like like a roller coaster ride, except if the whole ride is the climb up until the big drop. And then of course, you know, the big drop being like the climax when everything goes crazy and you're just doing loop-de-loops and spins and flips everywhere. I also loved the misdirection on who the main character of the movie is. I won't spoil that much and tell you who the actual main character of the movie is, but it's definitely not who it starts out as, which is kind of the point where it kind of spirals into batshit crazy country. When they kind of reveal who actually is in charge of the story. Anyways, let's move on to what I didn't like about the similars. Basically, I will spoil this a little bit because I have to talk about it to properly explain my dislikes. Basically, it's revealed that the little boy in the bus station with his mother, Ignacio, is responsible for what's going on. He reads, like he pulls out this comic book and reads the story, and it's called The Similars, and it basically explains like what's happening. Basically explains exactly what's happening in the movie. So it's like, and I don't know if this was just kind of like a translation error, like maybe just some parts of the explanation didn't translate properly. I didn't really understand, even when he like read the comic, for me it doesn't even really explain though how he was doing it. Like, is that a magic comic book? Like if you read it out loud it becomes true? Is Ignacio magic? Is he a wizard, Harry? Like, is he not human? Why, just because he read this comic book, was he able to make it come to life, is my thing. And that's something that at least I feel like they didn't explain, and I almost would have rather them not explain that, or not attempt to. But anyways, was The Similars worth it? I say yes. It was crazy, but it's definitely a awesome film to watch, like in the middle of the night when it's all rainy and dark and everything like that. Highly recommend. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I really liked it. On IMDb it has a 5.9 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes it has a 95% critic score and a 49% audience score. And then on Letterboxd it has a 3 out of 5. So I watched this on Netflix. So if you have a Netflix, you can watch it there. If I'm able to find it on Amazon, I'll leave a affiliate link for it in the description box. There's no pressure to use that link if it's even there. I'm not sure if it's on Amazon. But it does help out the channel if you use that link. So if you've seen The Similars, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. And if you have any explanation for Ignacio, please let me know also in the comment section. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a creepy peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday. You can ring that bell down there as well to be notified every time I post a video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye.